All right, folks, welcome back to another beachside Tarkov update. We got a short but very important bit of news from BSG. It started off with a little leak from Nikita, followed by a very quickly by a full roadmap. Now, there are a lot of changes on this roadmap that could mean all sorts of things, but the big one everyone is talking about is the hardcore wipe that's listed at the very top and center of the July patch. Now, what exactly does this mean? We don't know for sure. There will be lots of guessing, some it'll be right, some it'll be wrong, but I bet we get more details in the following days and weeks from Nikita and BSG, and it'll probably be sooner than later if my guess is right. That's especially if Nikita wants to stick with his promise of giving us the date by Q2, which is just 4 days away. This makes me almost expect to see a Tarkov TV here pretty soon to talk about the details with the release, this hardcore wipe, and just general progress of the game. So what do I think will be in this hardcore wipe? I mean, most likely, what everybody else is saying is we're going to get a no flea market. That's going to be a big part of it. And then there's lots of other stuff that could come with this. You know, a lot of people are going to expect more found and raid restrictions. I think you could actually see less. Not that it necessarily makes it easier, but they're just not necessary. It's redundant. If you don't have a flea market, there's not a lot of need for found and raid stuff. So you could see things like the found and raid hideout go away requirements, but you could see additions to like Gunsmith, that Gunsmith requires found and raid items. We'll see. And just so we're clear, this is all just guesses on my behalf. I think we'll walk back and head the other direction now. The possibilities are really endless for BSG though, depending on how much work they want to put into it. Changing to a hardcore wipe really does give them countless opportunities to modify and change the gameplay loop with a lot of back-end work as far as quests and barters and stuff like that and loot pools without having to do a lot of like programming work, if you will. Now, a lot of us were expecting a wipe in August or later with them leading into 1.0 in December. With them wiping in July now, that opens up an early release, though I'm still leaning towards December. I say this because we didn't get anything for September or later on the update roadmap, and they still say 2025 for 1.0. This is just giving them flexibility in their timeline that they're sharing with us. At this point, they have, 3 to 4 months afloat to release and still stick with their promises. Now, for the rest of the roadmap, it does hint at delays. Not directly, but most of the content for July was pushed into August, like the optimizations for Ground Zero and Shoreline, as well as the unheard cultist symbol that was next to a game event. The other big change was the removal of the large scale in-game event. To me, this has always felt like an event that leads to release. Like they're gonna do some kind of major event to wind out the 10 years of development with the community and lead into a new chapter of Tarkov, right? Some kind of big event to do that. You ask Nice Guy, ask Nolan, he'll tell you it's a nuke. And he might be right, but that's a joke for later. But with that being pulled off the roadmap, I don't think it's gone. It's just going to be sometime after August. And knowing our luck, it'll probably be around the same time as Arc Raiders or something like that, or maybe Battlefield, that a lot of us are excited to see and play. And my guess is it's all gonna stack up just because that's how it works. But overall, the July patch really got trimmed down to next to nothing. And I've been talking about this, how this was probably gonna be a thing for a while now, with 1.0 being on the horizon. BSG just doesn't have the manpower or the capabilities to provide content-rich wipes. So they'll have to resort to, and I don't wanna say gimmicks, but lower effort, high impact changes. Just like I said, doing things on the back end with changing quests and traders versus actual programming. A few small changes in terms of effort can completely change how the game plays and feels. But that's it for today. I didn't want to walk up to the house, and I'm fortunate enough to have some really awesome editors, so we just filmed this on the beach for you guys. We will keep our eyes peeled for more detailed updates on what the hardcore wipe is actually going to mean, if they're going to give them to us or they're just going to surprise us, and exactly, hopefully, when the date for 1.0 is. Hopefully Nikita sticks to his word. But with that, we'll sign off. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, all the calls to action and goofy stuff you're supposed to do as a YouTuber. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me on my vacation. I'll be back before too much longer, and hopefully before wipe, which I think we will. But that's it. Wish you guys the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.